guys, this is Mrs. Yeagle, and I'm reading chapter 39 of Addison Cooke and the Tomb of the Khan. This chapter starts on page 390, and it's called The City of the Dead. Raj scampered up the bowl of the rocks and scouted the mountain below. 1,000 feet down, he spotted tiny dots of people hiking up the mountain path. Their group was led by a woman dressed in all black. Madam Feng and the Triads, they're coming! The team joined Raj on the rocky ledge. How did they find us? Asked Eddie. Addison frowned. Maybe they forced Aunt Dee and Uncle N to cooperate. Molly shook her head. Maybe they heard Raj's avalanche and got curious. Addison turned to nobody. Summon the Dark God. This is Sir Frederick's City of the Dead. This must be where the Triads are coming. Nobody seemed thrilled to have the chance to use his two-way radio. He clicked it on, spoke excitedly in Mongolian, and gave Addison a nod. How long before the Dark Hat arrive? It is too steep for horseback. It could be hours. We need Dax for an extraction. See if your Mongol network can get him a message. They can reach him by the phone at this tavern. He handed nobody the business card for the Muddy Duck. Let's hope he's still in Mongolia, said Molly. He better be. Addison brushed dirt from his hands. We're going after the Golden Whip. Addison watched Madame Feng's progress far below in the mountain. How long before the Triads catch up to us? Not long, said I don't know. The group climbed down off the lip of the crater and entered the City of the Dead. Hundreds of white granite tombs filled the hidden hollow between the peaks of the sacred mountain. They crept under an archway built entirely of horse skeletons and down the center avenue, their feet crunching on gravel. They passed carved stone monuments to the great conquerors, Ogedei and Kublai Khan, their victories carved in relief on the base of the statues. They saw the tombs of Genghis's top men, Jebei and Subutai, two of the greatest generals in history. They wandered under the shadows of massive bone piles dedicated to the sky god and the steppe god. Why did the Mongols bury everyone above ground? Molly whispered. It's our tradition. We call it sky burial, said I don't know. The older Mongols still practice it in the steppe. The avenue led to a large stone door carved into the mountain. Addison had a pretty good feeling they needed to find a way inside. In front of the door sat a flat disc of rock, like the world's largest dinner plate, and in the middle of the plate was a pile of stones. A puzzle, said Raj. Eddie blanched. Nobody touch it. It's probably booby-trapped. Addison studied the flat disc. It's an ovu. The Khan wouldn't want anyone visiting his tomb who wasn't a Mongol. He stepped close to the stone plate. We have to walk around it 3 times clockwise. Everyone circled the disc 3 times. It was decent exercise, but exactly nothing happened. Addison stood and frowned at the stone disc, but that didn't do anything either. Then inspiration snuck up behind him and smacked him on the head. We rotate the rock, not us. Addison grabbed an edge of the stone disc and pulled in a clockwise direction. He strained hard while everyone watched him quizzically. Raj shrugged and joined in. Finally, with Eddie and nobody's help, the heavy stone budged and began turning on an axle. Everyone joined in, rotating the massive disc. They wound it 3 times clockwise and heard a loud mechanical click, but nothing else seemed to happen. What are we forgetting? Asked Addison. You must place a stone on top of the rock pile, nobody said. Eddie spotted a conveniently located heap of rocks piled next to the ovu. He fetched one and ran to drop it on the cairn of stones in the center of the plate. Wait! Addison grabbed Eddie's wrist. Remember the ceremony. It must be a white stone. They sorted through the gray and black heap of rocks and found only one white stone, the size of a baseball. Addison hefted it in his hand. It was heavier than the other rocks. He figured that was important. Nobody had the longest arms. He placed the white stone on top of a cairn of rocks on the plate. It slid cleanly into place, pressing some ancient hidden lever. A loud grinding of stones sent Eddie racing for cover. Addison's team looked up to see the large stone door creaking open in the sheer rock wall before them. The doorway was large enough for a man on horseback to gallop through. The group crossed inside the mountain. They found themselves in a circular room with a high vaulted ceiling. Enough light slanted through the doorway that Addison did not have to rely on his flashlight. In the center of the stone room sat a single white rock atop a pedestal. Doors were carved into the rock around the perimeter of the room, and beside each door stood an empty pedestal. Another puzzle. Raj glanced up at the stone carvings on the domed ceiling, searching for clues among the warriors and battles depicted in bas relief. Eddie wrung his hands. We don't have
puzzles. If we solve them, all we're doing is making Madame Fang's life easier when she arrives.
We just need to work more quickly. Addison scanned the room, getting the lay of the land. The entrance faces south. This room is a gear. He crossed to the center and spread out his arms like the pointers on a compass. The west is the male side, the east is the female side, and the north is the shrine. He moved to the rear wall and examined the shrine hollowed into the side of the mountain. It contained a few clay icons of horses. The paint faded and chipped. Designs carved into the wall were so worn by time they were nearly indecipherable. What are we supposed to do at a shrine? Molly asked. I don't know. Pray, I guess. The team knelt down before the shrine. This maneuver had done wonders in Kashgar and Karakoram, so Addison didn't think they were wasting their time. Still, they prayed for a minute, and nothing much seemed to be happening. I don't know. You guys are always sprinkling your drinks in the air, said Molly. Will that help? Can't hurt. Addison unscrewed his canteen and spritzed water in the air by flicking his fingers. Everyone else did as well, except for Raj, who found it prudent to always conserve water in the wilderness. They sprinkled water for a few more seconds, and again, nothing special seemed to happen. Wait a minute, keep doing that! Addison noticed a drop of water running down the cave wall, carrying away a few centuries of dust. Molly splashed water on the faded design of the shrine. The dirt melted away, revealing a carving of a whip. Addison rubbed water over the etching, reviving the faded paint. A golden whip. He traced it with his finger. The tip of the whip pointed directly to a door on the eastern side of the wall. I know what to do. He crossed to the center of the room, plucked the white rock from its pedestal, and placed it on the pedestal by the eastern door. With a grinding of stone, the ancient portal swung open. Addison's team coughed and waved away a few centuries of cobwebs in a billowing cloud of dust. When the air cleared, they saw a row of steps leading into the mountain. And that's the end of 39.